accelerate the timing after the rock step. I'm going to show you a version. This is what's happening a whole lot. Watch. Ah! And then you're like, why the fuck are we off time? I don't understand. Mine's broken. I need a new follow. Whoa, breathe. Remember, like, as you have momentum, it's supposed to dissolve as you go. Watch. Think of this way. Uno, dos, seis, y cuatro. Quick into slow.
No bachata yet.
Let's go. One.
Basic.
Toss the right hand. Let's go. Keep going. Oh, down. Press.
Because I am not feeling very well, you guys. Connection with someone last night, we went on a date on Tinder, which I swore off of, but he was super sweet, and I just really wanted, they're acro yoga, you know, like kind of ecstatic dance person, which I really want in my life. But I got the feeling after hooking up with them that they're not looking for, they're very busy, they're not looking for a lot of other connections. And I did some subby stuff, so I got a little bit of a sub drop, and I think that I'm, hold on one second, I gotta order. This is some espresso and coffee. You know, everyone talks about needing a village, blah, 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 blah. So I've been spending the last few years trying to build one. And really that just means connecting the dots between what's there, building other stuff, connecting that to other stuff, trying to make things accessible to lots of people with different... Hold on, let me see what's wrong with this. My car is saying vehicle not in park. Yeah, dude. I am driving my car, so it's not in park. Hello, sweet buns. Very Fairy Diaries. I need to turn these back into calling them Fairy Diaries because, yes, Neurodivergent Diaries. Yes, Ex-Cult Diaries, but I think it's more than that. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, the moon is beautiful right now. The moon is this half crescent that she looked at me right when I said Fairy Diaries. So, socializing. Look at that black square in my eyes. socializing thingy. I'm glad that these streetlights are yellow. I'm gonna throw that out there right now. I went to a cookout with one of my friends from my dance, Latin dance troupe, and great to get to know everybody. They're always posting a lot of hangouts in the group chat, and I went and danced bachata with one of them recently, trying to get more into that. And the mix of things. So I've had this experience of going to events and parties and feeling really sick and really constricted and isolated and confused and fake. And it really, 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 really depresses me and makes me feel sick and isolated. And I thought when I was growing up that was because I didn't exactly know why it was when I was with my family. I thought maybe it was because, like, I was just different in some way, broken, weird. And then when I started going to other people's parties, I thought maybe it was because I was Christian and I had this holy outlook that they didn't have. And then when I became an atheist and I would go into these events, I thought maybe it was because I was truly investigating my truth and they weren't doing that. And then when I got into queer circles, and it was a little bit more like that, I had my spiritual awakening, and I was kind of like, well, maybe this is because of the spiritual awakening that I have. And then I was like, well, maybe it's because I'm neurodivergent that I have this confusion, isolation when I'm with people. Maybe it's because I'm older than a lot of these people. Maybe it's because I was homeschooled. Maybe it's because fill in the blank. But all that I know is I have a very deep relationship with reality. And the people that I know and love best do as well. We have a very deep relationship with the trees, with our movement, with our own bodies, with meaning, with sincerity, and depth and vulnerability, and sensuality, even though we might not phrase it that way. People that are HSP, that are highly attuned to their environments. And let me just tell you that my dance teacher is healing me, as many dance teachers have in the past. Daniela, who was at this party, she's polyamorous, and I have not had the sort of, it's gonna sound weird, and I don't know what Daniela's sexuality is, right? I know that, but I have not had the, like, dance world and the seemingly heterosexual world meet the spiritual world, meet the polyamorous world, meet the, and when I say spiritual, I mean like sensual and deeply attuned to nature and to being and to energies. Meet the polyamorous world, meet the dance world. I've not had that. I've had my polyamorous friends who have mostly been people that I've dated, and then I've had who were oftentimes just a couple of people, really, that I've dated. And that's a very small group of people, you know? And then I've had the spiritual world, a lot of which is not polyamorous, and however, they were deeply attuned to deep feeling and authenticity and heart and speaking to the trees and knowing, like hearing the energies of nature and being deeply affected by the listening deeply to their bodies and to nature and being attuned to the spiritual energies. But those people weren't necessarily polyamorous people. And then I've been in the dance world where a lot of those people were extremely intellectual, not necessarily, weirdly enough, not necessarily very spiritual, not necessarily very attuned to and interested in like this depth of sincerity and this depth of feeling and communication on that front. And I have felt that each one of these identities, the dancer identity, which is very embodied and movement oriented, the polyamorous identity, and the sensuality and identity, and then the spirituality identity, have all been ridiculed pretty extremely by all the other groups. And it's not that anyone was trying to be cruel, but there is just an incompatibility and a disinterest and a clash of culture around those topics, leaving me feeling incredible shame and incredible isolation. And so to be at this party, which was really fun and great, but there's this sense oftentimes when I'm at parties of like isolation, of like feeling lonely, feeling like what I want to talk about, which is like the trees and how my energy is feeling with them, and sensuality and nature and growth and introspection and relationships that are polyamorous and complex and layered cannot be talked about in most of those spaces. It's not what people want to talk about. And it just feels like I'm incredibly censoring myself. And then I got to talk, and then I was feeling really burned out, and then I went to say goodbye, and I ran to Daniela, and she began talking so freely about her, nesting partner and her other partners, and also so freely about things that are probably neurodivergent things, like needing a lot of alone time and getting spaces where she suddenly doesn't want any physical touch, and can't really speak very much. And I'm very proudly owning all of these things, and wanting to like twerk during yoga, and just these things that I can, and then just this deep like understanding of like how spiritual it feels to be in the ocean. And I would just say an overall energy of this depth of sincerity and curiosity and spirituality. And all at once I felt seen and sense of belonging. And I just really want to thank the people in my life that are this way. That would go for my friend Shannon. That would go for my friend Jonathan and my friend Nin as well. And you these types of conversations that delve into the intrinsic sensuality of living. It makes me want to cry because it is so necessary to me. Like the moment those conversations with her started, I suddenly didn't feel tired or sick anymore. Our bodies react so quickly and strongly to inauthenticity. And there's nothing better or worse than any ways of being, but when you're not met in your culture in a certain way, it can feel so isolating. When you are, it can mean everything. So I hope that all of you fairy people are taking your time to be. And I sincerely hope that another fairy is floating along to match you. And I understand that it is probably rare. Please know that there are many. And I'm going to show you the moon. She's gone. She is gone behind a cloud. That is insane. Okay, so it was a crescent moon like this, like that. I'm so grateful for Daniela and the precedent that she's setting for movement and intentionality and presence and authenticity in the way that she loves and the way that she moves and the stories that she tells. So would it be, blessed be.